Well, there's just so many. I'll start off by just the number of thanks, right? And for Carla Williams and our administration for making this happen, the numerous amount of people that go into video and concessions and RMC and security and where are we going to put our locker room and where's the visiting team? It's just so many people, and all I asked was that this felt like a first-class event, and I think you guys can all agree that it definitely was. And really tough match between two gritty teams, right? Fighting for so much more than just a win today. And these two up here are a huge reason why we're successful. And we keep just talking about getting 1% better every single day. And I think that this was a really big step for our program. And we believe that this season we got so much more meant for this program, and we're excited that this is a big stepping stone for us.
We're going to open questions with Jeff White.
Shannon, how do you explain the momentum shift starting in the third set after going the first two?
Well, I'll explain. I'm a big Cubs fan, right? And so I don't know if you guys remember this back in the day, but there was a rain delay that happened when the Cubs weren't feeling so hot. And then this rain delay happened, and they come out of the locker room, and then they win the World Series, right? Very fond moment of my heart. And so that's what sometimes you need to use between sets 2 and 3 for, is a reset. It was our rain delay. And so we just kind of got back there. We weren't trying to be real emotional about it. There were some things that we weren't doing that we've been working on at practice. And so we just talked about that. What's one thing that we can do from an offensive standpoint? What's one thing that we can do from a defensive standpoint? And can we really just build upon those? And when you score a lot of points in a row, which we were doing, it makes the winning, it gets the crowd involved. And so I think that's what you saw from momentum.
You just mentioned crowd, but you expected or hoped for 1,500. I think it was 3,162 was the count that came in today. What was it like for the players and coach? Like, what was it like playing in front of a crowd that big? And I mean, just watching it, I got goosebumps hearing some of the reactions. What was it like out there?
It's a great question, and I would like to know myself, so I'm going to leave it to one of these guys to answer that for us.
I can go. During warm-ups and when we ran out, I kept looking around. Like, it was crazy because I've never seen, I mean, MEM, you don't really have to look up. You just look out. And here I was looking up, and there were just people everywhere, which is so awesome. And people we haven't really seen in MEM, people like some of our some of our friends from
yeah.
different sports and just in the community came, and it was pretty awesome just to see that support. And of course, we always get a lot of fans with Virginia Tech, but just have that bigger space was incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing to see how loved our program is. I think MEM, you only see like the same couple faces, but seeing all the people that came out to support us was really like heartwarming to be able to play in that environment.
Obviously, falling behind 2 sets to none is not an ideal start, but it did allow for this great game story of the comeback and then the environment that this place turned into in the 5th set. Are you almost glad that that's what it required today to get the win?
No. Whether it takes 3, whether it takes 5, I know that they were doing some sound checks earlier, and they're like, hey, who's, you know what happens in the 5th set at MEM Gym? And I was like, gosh, I really hope we don't get to that part. I did not wear my 5-set shoes today. But what else do you expect, right? Like, you got 2 teams battling and gritty, and I'm excited. We did come in between sets 2 and 3 and said, I hope you guys are ready to go 5 sets, right? Because that was always our plan and always our mission. And, we just made enough plays today to allow that to happen. And that's the difference. I think this could have gone either way, but, I'm really proud of the work that our team put in this throughout the week. And then we executed it today on game day.
Yeah, I think after the 2nd set, we just kind of flipped a switch. Abigail kind of stepped out of her comfort zone and gave everyone a pep talk that was, we needed to get the motor running because we were kind of going in the wrong direction. So I think Abigail's little speech was definitely something that we needed in the moment, and hearing it from a teammate is something that we can all respect.
For the players, when you did get to the 5th set, does the crowd become even more of a factor then? And you have momentum, and Tech is clearly kind of struggling at that time.
I think it was a lot from ourselves, but obviously the crowd really helped us out. I think they were just a lot of UVA chants. It was so awesome, but I think the whole team was on the same page. We wanted to hit them where it hurts and just keep on going because we wanted the win.
Do you think, and I wouldn't blame anyone if this was the case, but playing in a different environment and seeing that crowd, you mentioned like kind of taking it all in, looking up. Do you think that had an impact in the first games or first or second game? Like as you're trying to get your bearings, you have a different background that you're hitting into, not just with crowd, but like it looks different than Mem Gym.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had the first and second set jitters that we had to get out, and then Shannon had the brilliant idea of having like an hour-long serve and pass as opposed to 30 minutes how we normally have. So I think having that extra practice definitely helped us win this game.
You mentioned your speech, but set 3, 4, and 5, you look like you wanted the sets to come to you, look about you. Did you want the ball coming your way, and kind of what were you looking to accomplish that?
Oh yeah, I wanted the ball. I mean, I always want the ball, but I think in sets 3, 4, and 5, I was like, get me the ball. Ashley and I have a great relationship where I can just be like, Ashley, just set me the ball, and she knows to set me and knows what I like. So I think shout out to Ashley and Reagan for just trusting me and the team trusting me, and the passing was awesome. The passing also helped me be able to be so successful, and I think V can say the same things.
Yeah,
Right
for
back,
sure.
yeah.
I wanted the ball to go to Abby too. Like when I was coming in, I was like, Abby, stay! Like, you killed it today.
Thanks.
We and I'm gonna shout out Chris Grunwald, my associate head coach, because in between sets 2 and 3, we just kind of what can we do? And he said the middle of the court's wide open. Let's put Abby back in the middle instead of playing her on the right side. We can get her more balls. We can take care of the first contact. And so that was his brilliant idea. And again, it does take the first contact to get balls to our middles, and that was a piece that we really struggled with in the first 2 sets. And I thought all those, the littles, the passers, especially our 2 outsides, really stepped up in the passing game.
Shannon, you talked about this a little bit the other day, but how important are your middles, particularly these 2, in what you're trying to do offensively?
I mean, I've always been a middle hitter coach. Some people recruit middle blockers. I recruit middle hitters. And so I think that if you can find the ability for them to terminate balls, most of the time it's the hardest thing to defend, their kill percentage. And so, honestly, this started back in January for us. We knew that we had 2 of the best middles in the conference coming back, and how are we going to get them more balls? And so we implemented a couple new sets with a hang, like it looks like a 2-ball in the middle of the net of the court, location 3, because we knew if we were going to pass balls at 8 to 12 feet that most teams don't set their middles in that situation, and we didn't want to be that team. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't very clean. It took the full 4 months to get those sets down, and it's taken a lot of work from these 2 to create some range and make smart decisions, but I'm really glad that we worked on that. It was a full team effort to get those sets down, but it's going to pay off for our program.
We've seen Nebraska volleyball play in the football stadium. We saw Iowa women's basketball play in the football stadium. How important are events like this, and did that have much impact, like when you're trying to figure out, like, hey, can we pull this off? Like, it feels like women's sports have such a great, like, inertia behind them right now, and how exciting was that to be able to do something like this for the Charlottesville community and put your program on display?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try not to get emotional thinking about that. I think the sport of volleyball has come a really long way, and one of the things that we always talk about is, and this goes years before I was lucky enough to be with Mary Wise, right, who's in her 35th year of head coaching, and how did she build that? And there wasn't a lot of support for volleyball, and this is the fastest growing sport in the country. And I think that you're seeing more people really enjoy it, and more young women. Investing in women is really important to us. Empowering these student athletes is really important to our program. And I think that's what we strive for. Can we get more women to come out and watch volleyball? And, Jess Wilk is back there and she's going to hate that I'm shouting her out, but I don't know if there was someone who was more driving to make this happen. There's so many things on a head coach's plate that I'm like, yeah, we'll get to it. She's like, no. What are we doing? When are we doing it? What's the date? And so when you have incredible women like Jess and Carla that are leading this athletic department, I think they're fully invested in all our sports, but they're really invested in making women's sports here, feel like they should. And I'm really proud of the effort that we put out, and I'm so thankful for the Charlottesville community of coming out and supporting our program. It hasn't been the year that we wanted, but to know that they have our backs really means something for us.
Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Cool.